Welcome back to Remembering Smallville.
A Smallville rewatch podcast.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Brett. Season 1, Episode 12, Leech.
In this episode, Clark and classmate Eric Summer are both struck by lightning while Eric is holding a meteor rock. Dun dun dun. And Clark's powers are transferred to Eric. While Clark experiences normal humanity, the emotionally challenged Eric goes on a rampage.
So, I haven't been cooking much because lazy and busy. And because I'm an American, I can do what I want. Anyway, so I haven't been cooking much.
Sorry, Canadians, you're screwed.
So, I haven't been cooking much, and I realized that everything I was eating was a cracker, essentially. Some of them were crackers, and some of them was like, so I was like, Daniel, I want to eat something. And he was like, have some toast. And I was like, that's just a big cracker. And then he's like, and then he said, have some cereal. I said, that's just wet crackers. That's just crackers that I put in milk that are sweet crackers. Yes. And then he said, we'll have some like ramen. And I said, that's just dehydrated crackers.
All of it. Crackers.
So name a food, and I'll tell you how it's a cracker.
Green beans.
Daniel, not vegetables.
But you can.
A Pop-Tart.
No.
It's a cracker.
Have you not seen the veggie straws?
Cracker.
Yeah, see, veggie straws.
Veggie
They're
straws
crackers.
using green beans.
That's a cracker, I guess.
See? So, just whatever I had in my house,
Hamburger.
it is meat around some crackers.
Crackers are around the meat.
Depends on where you get the hamburger. If you're cooking it well done like most restaurants do, it might as well be a cracker. It's like beef jerky on a bun.
And if you're cooking meatloaf, crackers go in it.
Yeah, and so everything that we had in our house at the time was just like all bread. It was all cracker. You know, like everything we had. We had those.
Sounds like a joyous event.
Yeah, it is
you
until
get
you're
sick
not
of
in the
them.
mood.
That's why I eat meat, because that helps me, feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daniel
Like-
likes meat.
Like, I need a hot meal. I'm a man. I need to. I don't do that whole girl dinner thing where you have like a charcuterie and you're just like, blah, blah, blah. I'm eating 12 little tiny things that don't go together, or like I'm having pickles and mayonnaise or whatever girls do.
I'm having an artichoke with butter.
Right? For me, that's a meal.
That's
And so
not a
I
meal.
was just eating like little pickety bits. And I just was so sick of it that I was like, I want something. And all we had was crackers in one form or another. So I've just been really... So the other day I had like a salad and I was like, this is the greatest meal. Except no, it wasn't it.
Except for what?
There was croutons, which is, you know what that is? It's crackers.
So as the resident diabetic here on our podcast, I can tell you that everything we just listed, Daniel and the crackers, Daniel's meat eating and the crackers, is exactly what I should not eat. I used to be a man like that. Now I have to look for a salad to be delicious and delightful.
I just thought of a band name. Daniel and the Crackers.
Yeah, that's not
I like it.
a problem.
And we're all white.
Different kind of crackers.
Speak for yourself. I'm a ginger.
So even whiter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the hierarchy of whiteness, gingers are at the whitest.
It's fair. That's fair.
They're the ones that Disney's replacing.
Oh, that's just sad.
Think about it. Find a ginger character that Disney hasn't changed yet.
Merida.
They'll get there. Just you wait.
They'll get there.
Watch, when they do a live action Tangled, she is not going to be a ginger.
Why would she be a ginger?
She's not. She's blonde.
Okay, she has freckles and red hair.
She has
doesn't
blonde
have red hair.
It's blonde.
Tangled.
Talk about Frozen?
Rapunzel has bright blonde hair.
Her hair is tangly. Merida, what's her name?
Merida.
Brave.
Brave.
Oh, Brave.
Brave, Tangled, Brave, same thing.
No.
Okay.
They both have hair.
Okay.
That's reassuring.
And Lady Bits.
I'm not a Disney adult. I'm not a Disney nut. Don't come after me.
Oh,
okay?
we're coming at you.
You mean, hold on, I have a complaint. I hate Disneyland because it's all the rides from Lagoon that suck.
Yeah.
No fun rides that I love.
Yeah.
Just the sucky Lagoon rides.
To all of our listeners outside of Utah, if you want to go to Disneyland, instead of going to Disneyland, come to Utah I bet the flight is cheaper than going to Anaheim. And then drive just, 25 minutes north from the airport to Lagoon.
It's so fun.
It's so much better.
The price, it's $100.
It's $100 cheaper
than
per
drugs,
person.
and you get the same high.
Yeah, there are more rides.
And a churro.
You will ride more rides. They even have more themes now. And if you're missing out on Disney stuff, bring an iPad. Let your kids watch a Disney movie in line.
Wear your Mickey Mouse ears and get in line.
Nobody will care.
It's true. So, in summary,
Disneyland is for 3-year-olds.
in summary, everything's a cracker.
In summary, everything is a cracker.
Somehow we landed at Disneyland.
He thought everything should be a cracker.
Yep. There are way more crackers because I've had this same problem, Nicole. So
Right?
hold on. Before we're done, we have to name at least 3 more crackers.
Pizza.
Pizza is a cracker.
Yes.
Oh,
Done.
pizza's totally a cracker.
It's also a
Pasta
salad.
is all
Pasta
crackers.
is a cracker.
Anything that's a grain is a cracker.
Yes. One other thing.
So, like, if you eat tortilla chips, you got a cracker.
A chip is a cracker.
You know?
Okay. Hold on. I've got an issue for you. This bothers me. So we're going to talk about healthy eating for a second. If I have just some really lean ground beef, healthy or not healthy?
Healthy.
Are you eating it raw? Then it's probably not as good for you.
Cooked.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's not the healthiest, but it's healthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your body
All right.
will process it okay.
How about some romaine lettuce?
Healthy.
That's fine.
It's nothing. It's fine.
Tomatoes,
Great.
That's fine.
onions,
Fine. Are you talking about hamburgers?
mushrooms.
They're fine.
Okay.
Just the cracker that goes on top.
That's the
so
problem.
Hold on.
Minus the cracker.
Hold on.
Cheese
But
alone?
Some people need a little bit of grain in their life, right?
Okay, if it's like a really good sourdough or whole grain bun,
Sure.
that's fine.
Whole grain bun.
And maybe just one side.
Okay, fine,
You don't
fine.
need
I'm with you.
Top and bottom.
All of these things together all of a sudden make the most unhealthy food that everyone thinks that Americans eat nonstop of, right? They're like, oh, you eat that, that's gross and you're going to die. But every single one of those things listed is okay, but you put it together and you're going to die.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Are you resentful towards
Yes,
your
I am.
diabetes?
I
You
love
want to
me
know
my
why?
burger.
It's because we eat it with our hands. If we ate it with a fork and knife, it'd be healthy. If it was plated like an entree that you like fork and knifed into your
Yeah.
gullet, it would be a healthy meal. But because we manhandle it and eat it in our cars in
That's what Kim
shame in the
said.
dark,
Is that why
it's
Brett's
fine.
unhealthy?
That is the only reason French fries are bad for you. If you ate them with a fork and knife, they would be perfectly healthy.
I love this. I'm going to eat my cereal with a fork and knife.
No. You have to use a spoon for that, you psychopath.
Because it makes it healthy.
So then it's not healthy? Fine.
No, spoons are fine. Well, maybe. I guess you eat ice cream with a spoon.
Yeah, everything you eat
is
with
there
a
anything
spoon
that's
is not
healthy with a
good.
spoon?
Soup.
Soup.
Is soup healthy though?
Well, it
Yeah.
depends. Like a good
Like a creamy soup is not healthy.
No. If it's like a minestrone minus the noodles.
Right. Minus the
think-
what? The
Noodles.
cracker? the soggy circle cracker in your soup?
So true.
This is the world we live in.
Best banter ever.
But speaking
there you
of the
go.
world we live in, we also live in a world where Smallville is a thing, and this is a great show.
And that brings so much joy to our lives.
Especially this episode of For Nicole, which is Leech.
Shout out to all meteor freaks. We can't help you, but you can help us by following us on social media at Remembering Smallville, and our link is in the description. Listen, we're mooching off of you. If you like, comment, subscribe, we might make money, and it doesn't hurt you.
I love this episode.
Because our guest star
Is
Nicole, do you know who our guest star is?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know his name, but
His name is Sean Ashmore. He is a twin, and his twin is also a celebrity.
do you know his twin is actually going to be in Smallville for several seasons?
That's what Brett told me, and I was like, I'm so excited.
Which is confusing for someone who watched this and was like, why is that same kid a different person?
But he's a different character.
Yeah,
That's so
different
funny.
person.
Oh my gosh. So we know him as Bobby, aka Iceman from X-Men. Or if you grew up in our generation, we knew him from Disney Channel's Cadet Kelly.
Yes!
So cute. But I love him. He was definitely a crush I had when I was younger.
So hot.
So hot.
And there's 2 of them.
I know.
Let's write their names down 900 times.
No, I'm married now.
You are?
You're not devoted to
So
them?
am I. We found our Tom
I haven't
Wellings.
done that since I could drive.
Now,
probably.
Brett, you and I were forgotten just like that.
No, Daniel, we just have to worry if the lights turn off and we hear Sean or Aaron. We feel a little weird.
That's true. If I hear Nicole mention Ewan McGregor,
Oh, you are so
Daniel.
sexy.
Daniel, I have the high ground.
Nicole wouldn't say that. She doesn't even know what that's from.
and then I'll be like, "Now this is pod racing."
Okay.
Guys, the window's
back to it.
open. I should probably shut it for anyone walking by.
Oh man,
Sorry, Nicole.
they're all looking for rocks in the forest in the first scene.
What a fun field trip. I would totally do this class.
Yes. Me too.
But you know who wouldn't do this class if she could help it? Chloe. She
No.
hates rocks. She thinks they're pointless.
She just wants to order them online.
And have them shrink wrapped and delivered.
Yeah.
They didn't even have an Amazon, and she was willing to pay that shipping.
I know.
Yeah.
So they are on they are on a field trip, right? Studying rocks. And we see Sean Ashmore, our celebrity guest star,
His
as
name is Eric Summers.
Okay, Eric Summers as a kind of a nerdish boy. And his dad is the professor, and his dad is mean.
I don't think he's that mean.
You don't?
Nicole, you grew up with a dad just like that.
Is he was your okay.
This is the what if story.
Like, what do you mean?
Every good series has a what if episode. This is the what if Clark's parents were this guy.
Yes.
Yeah, like,
And I loved it.
this isn't even the best what if in Smallville. There's some
Oh,
ones
I
that
know.
are
I can't
that
wait.
make
you
this
guys.
one feel like child's
Nothing.
play.
But I
in
love this
comparison.
episode.
But this is a really good first look at, what if Clark had been adopted by somebody different?
Yeah.
Yes. And we see in this episode, Clark's hands start to
Green up.
green up. And I hear Kim right next to me as we're watching it say, the necklace is back.
Yes.
And we turn and we see Lana's necklace is
Yes,
back on.
it's been missing for a couple episodes now.
Well, and they all have to get their own rocks, and one of the rocks that they have to get is meteor rock.
Rock.
Poor Clark. Like, how is he supposed to success?
I wanna get it out.
that. He's like,
Dropping
guys,
it in his backpack.
I got it. Are you okay, Clark? What's my excuse today?
I'm allergic to rocks.
I found some mushrooms over there, man. Oh my god. He needs to come up. Clark needs, you know what he needs to do? He needs to sit down with a notebook and write down pre-excuses for
Because
everything.
he's terrible.
Serious, though.
So
Yes. And then he's like, let me pull out my notebook. I am sick.
I have to wash my hair.
like, say, I gotta go to the bathroom.
He works on a farm. Do you know how many excuses there are that are valid excuses?
I've gotta go do farm chores.
My horse is sick.
No,
Yeah.
doesn't
The
even have to be
pigs are in
sick.
labor.
My cow's nipple
hey.
is about to fall off.
My dad needs help milking the cows. My dad needs help baling hay. There's so many things
know.
that the hay is going to go
And
rotten
you
if I don't do this.
guarantee that Jonathan will back him up if somebody
Yes.
asks.
The tulips are
love
wilting.
Yeah, I've gotta go.
The artichokes are turning brown.
So
I've
back
gotta go save the chokes.
So back in the episode, Eric is trying to flirt himself up with this girl, realizes she's got a boyfriend, and he threatens her.
What's her name? Beth?
I don't know. I
We're
didn't
going
write
to
it
call her
down.
chicken number one.
Yeah, generic blonde number one.
Generic. Jenny. That's her new name.
Okay, that's
Jenny.
Sure.
Hey, don't call me dad. Call me Mr. Summers at school. Now go be alone and figure out your assignment, you worthless piece
Hold
of
on.
child.
I have a problem with mean parents because it's something that's going on in the parents' life and it's trickling down to their kids. And I'm not okay with that. If you have a problem with your own life, take care of it. Like, I don't like when people are mean because of themselves
Okay.
and they treat others
to play
mean.
devil's advocate, he says, "Did you find all the rocks?" And he goes, "No, my glasses are fogging up." And the dad's like, "Stop dicking around to go find some rocks." That's not that hard.
Accurate. There's a few ways
So-
he probably could have handled this.
Sure.
Right? Or the fact that he nonchalantly comes onto the bus. Any of you see Eric? He got lost.
That part's not good.
Like, he's not even worried about his kid. Apparently, there's a dam that he could fall off of that's several hundred feet in the air.
sure.
I guess I know, and parenting is rough, and I don't judge other parents very often. But don't be such a little jerk. all the time. Like, do you have a hangnail? I get that those can be rough. Do you have a migraine? Sleep it off, dick.
I just think to a certain point, kids need to be responsible.
Oh yeah.
And if a teacher,
But you don't do that through anger and meanness. That's gonna
here's the
create
thing.
the opposite.
You don't know if this kid sucks, because if you have a kid,
So if your kid sucks, treat them like shit.
no. I'm just saying, if this kid Eric is always like really slothful and is like, I didn't do my homework today, sorry dad, and has been pushing this button of like, so that's what I'm saying is like, I get the frustration of trying to parent someone who is really hard to parent.
I don't think that's the case, though, with this one.
We don't know that.
Yes, we do. Have you watched the episode?
Yeah, I watched starting at the field trip. I don't know what happened in this family for the past 16 years.
Here's the thing. The kid, because of the way his dad treats him, decides that it would be better to jump off of a dam. Now, I will say, I have had spouts with my parents growing up, but they never made me want to, like, end it. So the fact that he wants that and that he...
Do we know he's suicidal, or is he just being stupid and chucking rocks off?
I know it didn't
A
look
dam.
like he was trying to jump.
I just think he's dicking around and messing around and the bus is leaving, I forgot.
And
Sorry,
I get
Dad. Like, you
that
just don't know.
This has to be a what if. And the dad plays such a good, like he does such
Yes.
I just know I do not have patience for bullies or mean people. So
Yeah.
I get that I'm not for everyone, but at least treat me with kindness and respect. That's all I ask.
There's a way that you can be strict with children that...
Without being rude.
Yeah.
Blatantly
And a lot of it,
disrespectful.
a lot
rude.
of it is the tone. So let's
Yeah,
say
it's the
'cause
condescension.
The dad says, what does he say? Call me Mr. Summers at school.
Yeah.
If he had said, we've talked about this, you need to call me Mr. Summers at school,
Nothing wrong with that.
right? So the words he's saying
right.
aren't
It's that he
necessarily
makes
the
bad.
tone.
It's that
No.
he makes him feel like he's the biggest
Right.
idiot on the planet, and I'm not cool with that.
And it makes you feel very like worthless.
Yes, I
So it's
have
not good.
2 girls, and they treat each other that way because they're siblings, and I can't handle it.
So
It
an
drives me
interesting
nuts.
little thing is, as we go through this episode, let's watch the dad's comments, because I think this is exactly what we see in any one of them. As he comes in and he says, no, I can't take you to school because I have a staff
Faculty meeting.
Right? If he were to say that, I've got a faculty meeting this morning.
You
I
woke
can't
up
wait.
late. This is your
You'll need to get a different ride or a different
Yep,
way there.
This is your consequence.
That is not a bad thing said, but the way it's said is,
Right.
again, that condescension. And it's where...
But this has to happen because it's a what if, right? And
Yep.
if he had parents like this, Clark would not be the man he is
We
today.
should also listen to see things that like Jonathan says, and if we if we tone them negative,
Yes.
is it the same? So
Genius.
because I didn't even think about that. So maybe that's
See,
As
fun
we-
conversations, guys. This is why we have a podcast. Okay.
Lots of opinions that no one wants to hear.
so. Yeah, let's get to the meat of the plot here.
big bad thing that happens, which is Clark is trying to save Eric from an untimely death.
Maybe is it? Because I think he just like falls. 'Cause I don't think Eric was.
It's clearly too dangerous that he shouldn't be doing it, and Clark is trying
Sure.
to help.
On a windy, stormy day.
Yeah.
I love his old-fashioned headphones.
I love them.
I also really liked the song that he was listening to while I was standing up
Oh,
there.
I've got a list of the songs. This episode has
This one
a
had
bunch of them.
great music.
Yeah.
Clark gets struck by lightning twice in the heart, as one super being does, via a canvas satchel.
Hey, I want to
A
know what
man
brand
sack.
that is. It didn't rip under a body weight.
I know
That's
it's a
pretty
good
impressive.
canvas satchel.
Lightning, or I should say, electric currents can jump.
I know.
So it's not like the burlap sack was a conductor.
Oh, no. I just
Yeah.
meant the weight of a human being pulling on it, and he lifted
Yeah,
him up
what
by
brand
that.
is that? We'll sell
I
it.
need to find that tote.
So what we see here is really interesting, though, because for the first time, Clark reaches over to put out the fire on Eric's back, and it hurts.
It hurts him. He gets the Bernie thing.
He doesn't remember what it's like to feel pain.
That's ouchy. What is that?
So we actually talked about this earlier. We talked about how like girls tend to like deal better with sickness or whole body pains. Girls deal with periods every month, so they're always dealing with a lot of pain. Can you imagine what it would be like to never really understand pain and then you start feeling it? You see that in this episode as Clark starts to feel pain. He's kind of a wimp about it because he's not used to pushing through pain.
Yes. Yes.
He's a wimp. He feels exhaustion. He tries to push the truck a couple times and falls over and just lays there
Yeah,
in the
this
mud.
is his
And he gets a
first
bloody nose.
indication.
Yeah, we see him bleed. He's a bleeder.
Yep. So his dad's truck is stuck in the mud, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got you. I'll push you out," and he can't.
So just a fun little call out to Batman vs. Superman. When Batman wants to make him bleed, makes Superman bleed. If anyone's seen that or wants to look at it, you could just watch the trailer to Batman vs. Superman, and he says it's so awesome.
Tell me, do you bleed?
Oh yes.
That's like a meme to me now more than anything. So I struggle.
So I'll be honest. When this first happened, I didn't realize he had
A bloody nose because his face is so dirty.
right, and I didn't realize what had happened right off the bat.
really? Okay.
I knew he was weaker, and I'm
Okay.
like, he's bleeding. But it took me a second to realize that they had actually their
Switched.
powers had switched. Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine how scary it'd be for Clark?
Oh my gosh.
At least he didn't just wake up with it happening. Like, it happened immediately after.
True.
So he knows electricity in the chest, immediate burn.
Yes.
There's the source.
Yeah.
Yes. So he could link the two.
Right. And I just think his parents are like, well, go to school. Don't worry about it. Keep that
So-
anxiety down, boy.
Jonathan could be like, "Hey, you're missing your bus, you dickweed.
Right?
Get on the bus."
If we switch it,
We switched it, yeah.
And instead, he's like, "Hey, you just missed your bus."
you better run. And he's like, my speed's gone, Daddy. My speed's gone.
Speed's gone.
Well, and Jonathan also doesn't say, well, you better should have thought of that before you ran off it. You know?
Exactly.
So then the direct what if is that was his experience of, hey, I'm late for
Something's
school.
different.
Is something wrong? What's going on?
Yes.
And now he's going to be late for school.
Eric
and-
Summers.
Yep, Eric
I
Summers.
love it so much.
And we get the classic glasses
On,
don't
off.
work anymore.
Because his
Yes.
vision's fixed. So something I noticed here, because it is a what if episode, is I paid attention to what Eric was wearing, his colors.
Yes, I
He
did
did
the same.
make the switch.
Because right now, in the beginning, in the morning, he's wearing black because he's really like,
Subdued.
no, I think he's
Like
kind
trying
of
to hide?
pissy with his dad.
Maybe
Yeah.
depressed. A
Yeah.
I
little.
mean, he starts off being like, Mr. Summers. And his dad's like, stop it.
Calls him stupid, selfish.
and uses his power for the
He
first
uses
time.
his speed, yeah.
So he notices his eyes don't need his glasses, and then his dad goes to hit him, and he uses his.
So his dad really is the worst.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
His dad sucks. And nothing. So it's not even just his tone. His words aren't okay either.
Well, and
And
he's
his
gonna
actions.
hit him.
Yeah. Calling
For-
your kid stupid and selfish, even if they are.
But the fact that he caught his hand, it's not the first time he struck.
Yes.
Oh,
Right?
true.
This isn't an exception.
He knew it was
coming. So knowing that that's there and your natural reaction is to defend yourself or to block it, that says this isn't the first time, not even the second time, right? It's if it's something that happens once or twice in your lifetime or once or twice a year, you're not expecting all the time. If I'm just getting ready in the morning and you just told me what I did yesterday was selfish and you go to whack me and I block it, this is a regular occurrence. This
Yeah.
isn't a safe place.
It's like those videos where, have you seen that person's, like, with your spouse, you bug them until they're about to hit you, and then you block each one? Have you seen those?
Because you know where
Yeah.
they hit. You like block it. Block it, blah, blah, blah.
Brett does that to me all the time. He knows exactly where I'm gonna whack him, and then I go, "Hiss! You deliberately dodged." What's that from? Anyone? Brett
No
knows.
idea.
It's Robin Hood, the original Disney cartoon.
Oh.
He goes to hit his snake that's his assistant, right? And he
he
goes to hit him and
dodges
he
his
ducks
hit.
and he goes, Hiss, you deliberately dodged. And Hiss has to sit there in silence and get hit again.
Guys, I don't beat my husband or my children,
Except for when they deserve it.
except for when I'm angry and I call them stupid and selfish. Okay, next, I love this. Tell us what's going on, Nicole.
So Clark has had a rough day in gym class, and he's like, "Oh, my leg, it hurts." He's never had a cramp.
And Pete's just like, walk it off, dude. Like, come on.
He's drenched in sweat.
And Pete notices, you used to be fine. And luckily they can just assume that he's sick or something. And
Yeah.
and this episode really helps hide his secret. I will say that
Oh,
too.
good timing.
The timing,
really good timing.
So much
Yes.
of this.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And
It's
what
like a divine act. I mean, he was literally struck twice by lightning in order for all of this to happen. So it must be an act of divine intervention for sure. Some Deus Ex
goodness.
Machina.
Yep. Then an important conversation happens.
Between Clark and Eric Summers, and Clark says, "Are you okay?" And Eric's like, "Yeah, never been better. I'm incredible."
And what color shirt is Eric wearing?
Red.
And then he benches 600 pounds.
Guys, benches 600
I literally
pounds.
said, "Is that a lot?"
That's okay. That's fine that Clark can bench that much or switched power stuff. How is there a 600-pound weight anywhere? I've
At the
never
school?
seen that. It's not 600 grams. Kilograms would be even more.
Yeah, what does it usually go to? I'm trying to think.
Like 200 maybe on those types of machines.
On a
with,
machine?
like a
Yeah.
cable. And even if you stack all of the weights onto a bench, like onto a barbell, that doesn't add up.
No. And nobody, like, well, I don't want to say
That
nobody.
football team is top notch.
Yeah.
And they have got boosters. It's Lionel.
I just
Lionel
wanna
Luther
know-
They
Baby.
have saunas.
How
in
did
their
they have
gym.
a machine that goes up to 600 pounds? I can't imagine a scenario unless you're deadlifting or something
That's
like
what I
that,
was saying,
or squats.
full body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
deadlifting or squats, you can go up into that range. But even the big guys on giant amounts of steroids aren't benching 600.
No, that's nuts.
And they don't make machines that exceed the human maximum capabilities for working out. That's just not what they do. That would be like pointless.
So what a great, easy way to show that he has Clark's power.
Hell,
I know.
Yay,
That
for
is the only reason it
Practical
was like
effects.
that.
That's
Yeah.
great.
I love it. I like how he's just like, woohoo, yeah, woohoo, I love it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Clark's like, my legs, my bleeding, what's a cramp?
I'm sweating. But the thing is, like, think about this. When that sweat dries, if he doesn't do laundry on that sweat before he gains his powers back.
What?
You've never watched... Never mind. Maybe this is too nerdy.
No, hit
Please
us.
tell.
His sweat?
We're ready
Something
for
about Clark's
a
sweat?
nerd moment.
Well, you have to think about it. Kryptonian cells.
But he
and
never sweats, right?
Yeah, he never sweats. Wouldn't Kryptonian sweat also be like,
Super powerful?
yeah, impossible to get rid of?
No, it's all weakened now.
Yeah, but does it retain that connection after he gets it back?
I don't. I think you're thinking too much about it.
Interesting. I like it.
There's a Big Bang Theory episode where they talk about how like Superman cleans his suit, how he has to fly through the sun in order to do it. And
Oh.
they talk, well, how would he even get sweat stains? And they're like, oh, he gets shrunk down to the city of Kandor where he loses all of his powers. He participates in a friendly
I
game
can
of
hear
basketball.
all of their voices too.
Right, he participates in a friendly game of basketball, and then he
Builds up a healthy
leaves,
sweat.
Builds up a healthy sweat. He leaves, and now his suit has impossible Kryptonian sweat stains to get rid of. What does he do? You know? So that is what came to mind when I was thinking about his sweaty hand.
Fantastic.
I love it.
So our next scene brings in Nicole's favorite character.
It's freaking Whitney.
Or
Nell.
Nell.
Nell has decided to do something. What has she decided to do?
She's going to be super duper selfish and sell the flower shop / the Talon movie theater that she owns.
But Nicole, it's not selfish. She's doing it to pay for Lana's college.
So? Why didn't Nell consult her teenage daughter? I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Listen.
if you guys were going to sell something, wouldn't you consult your teenagers?
Absolutely not. 3 years ago, we moved into this home, and
guess what?
My
They had
kids
no
had
say.
no say in that.
I'm mostly kidding. I don't really care that she's selling the flower shop. I get making
But
businesses.
how dare she?
I think my parents loved me more than you guys love your kids.
Would they consult you?
Kind of. When we moved to where I ended up living in Sandy, my parents picked the house because I was the last teenager in the family, and they wanted me to be able to have the school that I would be happy in, and I had already gotten all the friends for that, and so they picked that particular area in that school district, or in that actual specific Jordan school district, to be able to, so I could go to Jordan High School.
Okay, so
That's so
But
cute.
they thought about you, and they made that decision acknowledging your needs.
Yeah.
It wasn't
But
up to
was it
you.
your decision?
Yeah, we 100%.
That's a good point. No.
Yeah.
See, because
Yeah.
we consider the same. We look at the schools. We make sure there's friends. We went and explored the neighborhood.
We also
Maybe it's just because I was the only one, and so I feel special.
well, and that shows a lot for what kind of adult you are. They did good.
I hope
for
they
sure.
did good.
So back to our lovely what ifs. We're on the farm, and Jonathan is telling Clark he doesn't have to finish up his chores today. And Clark is very determined to finish those, even though it's taking him much longer. And Jonathan says, you know, you've had these powers for years, and it goes away. We don't expect you to adjust in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like there's an understanding that this
lot of
is a
grace.
change.
What a
Yeah.
cute dad.
And I love, doesn't right there, Clark asks, how do you do this all the time?
Yes.
Years of practice.
We go to this next scene, and I kind of love the simulation of Lex getting run.
Well, you know what
over
it is,
Clark.
right?
Yeah.
It's
And-
the pre-render CGI that they made for
It's
that
absolutely-
CGI scene.
I love it. He has this simulation, and he's rewatching it.
It's like on repeat.
Yeah.
Well,
Just over and over
Daniel
again.
just likes the fact that it's what the behind the scenes people were using to build the CGI.
And that makes so much sense.
But was it CGI or was it a practical effect? What's what we discussed in the episode. We said we love
It
that
was
it's a
both.
practical. Was it?
It had to be both. The best effects combine the two. If you ever watch anyone that knows really what they're doing, the best looking effects usually combine a bit of the two in a really seamless way. And I think that's what that scene did. Like it clearly they have that footage, you know, that's
Why not
what
use
it
it?
started with. So I love
So
that.
this guy, we've seen him before. This is Nixon.
Yes.
He is the one that Lex kind of blackmailed and said, with one call I can erase your identity and erase your life.
Yeah.
And so this is Nixon, and he's the one who's been doing all this research into the Kents, into Clark. How could this happen? Give me all the deets. So this is Lex's main secret Clark mission guy.
His PI.
Roger, sneaky little
Nixon.
dude. And he just says he's not going to reveal his sources, and Lex throws him another 10 grand per name. This guy is a rat in every way, shape, and form. He's happy to roll over on anybody and do whatever sounds best for him in the moment. Lex comes to check on Clark after talking to Roger. He's got his own motives. He wants to see how special Clark is. This goes to what Daniel said. How fortunate of timing for him to lose his powers.
I
because
know.
now he is genuinely weak. He can't just do everything. He needs his help.
And he just hammers his own finger.
He just hammered his own finger. He couple points here that were really fun watching this. One, I just thought to myself, why doesn't Clark just show Lex his hand that he just smashed? It'll be nice blue and purple from him hitting himself. He offers Lex the opportunity to hit him with a hammer, and Kim just says, I'm surprised he didn't take it and throw it at him.
I thought as he was walking away, Lex would like chuck
you
it at him.
did?
Yeah.
No, Lex
Not
doesn't
in like a
that.
mean
What's
way.
crazy
just like,
is Lex, when he gets there, he goes, you can't lift that by yourself.
yes.
Like he's kind of like,
I've
come
been
on,
doing
Clark.
chores. I've been baling hay for 2 hours. I can barely lift my own arms, he says.
Yeah.
And I do love right here how Clark is a way better liar right now because
he's
of
not
how
lying.
he feels.
He's not lying anymore.
Well, he's lying about what happened with
Sure.
the accident, but now he's like able to actually put more oomph into the lie and prove it a little bit better. It's
I
so
never
great.
thought about that. That's so true. Have you guys ever noticed that whenever Lex pulls up, he's in a different car?
Yes.
And his license plate always says his name
Lex
in
1,
a different way.
Lex 1, Lex
This
2,
one's
Lex
like-
3.
Imagine having a different license plate around your name.
Some people do. Some people do.
No. I mean, having multiple license plates and they're all around your name. It's one thing to like,
Yeah.
Next, in the next scene, we get to see what if Clark got to be super in the open.
yes, I never noticed that juxtaposition before of being able to see what the consequences would be if Clark had saved people right out in the open.
I love this. So we get a purse snatcher.
Yeah,
Watch
classic.
what Chloe does.
We were laughing so
Snatches
hard.
The purse, you guys. She whacks him in the side of the head, like upside the head.
Her fight or flight
Ready?
kicked in.
He just clapped him.
I love it. Well, I love what Eric is wearing because he's got the Superman red, but even the collar of his shirt is black, and he's got a black trench.
And then we have a callback to a previous episode where we had an issue with this. Another knife shatters when they try to stab the Superman.
Yep.
And we talked
They
about
should
how
just
you
go
can't do that.
dink.
And then he throws the criminal, into all of this glass. I think that would be nearly a mortal wound causing incident, if not totally killing the person.
Oh, yes.
That is a moving vehicle that is thick glass, and he went through multiple sheets.
Yeah.
He didn't kill him, but I feel like in real life that could have totally killed a person.
100%. And then, of course, we have our Jenny, our generic blonde girl.
Did we decide to name him Jenny?
Yes.
That's the best thing ever.
Generic blonde.
And she is like, oh.
Well, everyone's giving him pats, and you did it. You saved the day. You're so strong and speedy. Look at you.
And he gets a name.
Yep.
Superboy. Which, that's Superman's son, excuse me.
Don't worry, we have a few different instances where there could be a quote-unquote Superboy that actually exists in the series.
Yeah.
What? I'm so
That's
excited.
And Clark sees the newspaper about Superboy and is thinking, well, I could have done
Why did I
that.
hide all this time?
I've been hiding, and they say, you know why.
I didn't know why. I thought the same thing.
Oh, really?
So taking this back to our banter at the beginning, see if you can flip Jonathan's verbiage here to be the mean parent, just with the tone, right? Because...
Well, so what does he say?
Or with Martha, when Clark is like, being normal works for you and mom, and she's like, oh, thanks.
I know, I loved it.
And he says, like, you're not going to get your powers back. That's our guess. So go be normal.
You're our son, whether you bench press a tractor or not, you wimp.
I mean, he could have said, like, this is a big hit for us too, kid.
Yeah,
Now we
you're
have to
less
go hire
worth now.
farmhounds. Now our farm's going to be even more in debt because you can't help us like we planned. You know.
so
I thought about this
true.
for you guys. There's 2 times in this episode I thought about you. This was one of them, thinking on that same line of the Bills. While they'd have to hire farmhands, he can't break things.
True.
That's
He can't
true.
break things like that.
If he wasn't like saving people around the farm all the time, yeah, that's less stuff to break.
See, so I was like, oh. But then later in the episode, just wait for it. I'll point out when I thought about you guys again.
Okay.
This was
So
a great
great.
family moment. I did love it.
They are the sweetest. And guess what they say? They say,
His abilities are a part of him, but they don't define him.
oh, and that's what you try and teach all your children.
Your legs are a part of you, but they don't define you.
Use
Go
them.
forth, child.
Have you
Run.
noticed that the world kind of has got that confused, that there are things that that shouldn't define you that are defining you now? And
Yes.
I think that everyone needs this episode, this lesson, that you as a person are not defined by what you can do or can't do.
And
It's-
also to show you what type of parent you should be or try
We
well,
learn.
to
and
strive
Clark
to
also
be.
in this episode realizes what really does define him, which we'll get to when we get to that spot.
So Chloe and Pete in the next scene are bragging about what they were able to see and that Eric's amazing and saves people. All the while just driving it home that Clark is not the one that did this in public.
And Clark
Yeah.
is getting a little jealous.
Well, yeah, because he's like still dealing with that feeling of, I could have had all of this praise from all of my friends. They could have known I've saved them. I've saved them all so many times, and they could know that I've done all of this for them, and they don't even know. He might even feel a little jealous that Chloe's all about it, because either he's thinking, I could have more girls after me, or I could have Chloe after me, or he's thinking Lana might be more impressed. I'm not sure which one exactly they were trying to portray here, but that's what I thought of when I saw how he kind of looks at Chloe's reaction to Eric.
And he's signing autographs and getting all this attention, and Chloe's flirting with him.
I know. And then guess who comes up with her necklace on and it doesn't do a thing to him.
Oh,
And
what
so
a
Clark
happy
and
moment.
Clark thinks, okay,
This
I'm
might
gonna
be
find
okay.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna find the silver lining, as it were.
I am going to accept this as my new life.
And then he finds another silver lining. He is totally confident accepting a basketball game offer, right? He
Always had to
normally would
decline.
Yeah, he would normally would have to decline, but now he can.
So explain to us why, because at first I was like, why does he never play basketball?
He would
Is it
hurt
not
them.
his sport?
Same reason he doesn't play football.
It's well in
I love
basketball,
that.
right? Football, you're doing a lot of tackling, and you can adjust for that. In basketball, everyone's trying to use their athleticism, and they'll bump up against you or move around you. People bumping into Clark will break their shoulders or break
Yeah.
their knees just bumping into him.
Because it's like hitting a brick wall.
Very Twilight. Very Twilight.
So I loved this scene so much. It made me so happy. He's missing shots. He scrapes his elbow and he like looks at it like, my first floor burn.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so cute. And the girls are cheering. I just thought it was a super happy, and you get a ton of Tom Welling smiles.
I have one criticism.
Yeah.
Half court?
What? What's wrong with half court?
You don't have a full team. You don't play full court with 2-on-2.
You need at least 3-on-3 to play full court.
I don't know. I just thought it was weak.
Now,
Even with
is
3-on-3.
That's a fun
3-on-3,
note.
it's
We
hard.
actually asked our daughters. They walked in while we were watching this episode, and we said, "All right, so we got to know how attractive is Clark Kent." They are
They approve?
definitely
Both
on
of
both
them.
of them.
Oh.
We
Are both
never
on.
agree on men, and they were like, yummy.
Superman wins on all fronts.
I love at the end of the game, he's all smiling and Pete says, "What are you smiling for? We lost." And he goes, "Yeah, isn't it great?"
so cute.
It's so
He
cute.
gets to be normal.
I
Okay, so-
loved it.
Our next scene is actually a subplot in the episode,
Yes.
but it's been carrying over a couple of episodes.
Victoria
So
Hardwick.
We have Victoria Hardwick showing up, and she's showing up with her father, and they have got the best of Lex. Or so they think in the moment.
I was completely tricked. And I was like, oh, finally, he's seeing her for her true colors.
You think, "Oh no, he's been double crossed."
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that Victoria and her father have different accents?
Oh, no,
Very,
I did not.
very different.
He's got a Cockney accent and she's got like the
Well,
highborn
hello there,
accent.
love. And she's like, hello.
Yeah, clearly
Wow.
he seems like he was raised either a self-made man or the casting department or something got an
Did not
actor.
care?
Yeah, because if he isn't self-made, he wouldn't have that accent. Anyway, so that was interesting.
My headcanon is he's self-made and sent her off to finishing school.
Which
and
is
to be
very
posh.
common. I was going to say it's not actually that uncommon to have your kids have a different one, especially in that realm of living where your kid goes off to a private school, finishing school, and they're taught, especially if father is Cockney, right? They're going to train you not to speak that way because it's still frowned upon.
Yeah.
Like that accent. So her going to finishing school would be, we're going to train that out of you. You don't speak that way.
Yep.
Interesting.
This to me was a nerd moment for myself, not a comic nerd moment, but this is similar or at least related tangentially to the work that I do. So the way that this all took place is investing in an absolute dumpster fire company that was inflated. Because of the way it was done, it's not actually illegal what Lex did. It wasn't public documentation. He completely depended on Victoria for logging into his computer and finding this document.
You
So
mean
it's
her
not
dad?
official. So Victoria's the one that went into Lex's
Yeah,
laptop.
Victoria went into the laptop,
Found this
told her
information.
dad.
Yeah, because Lex set up essentially this phony company for them to invest in.
Is she stupid then for not going, let's do one public record check on this company?
Well, they had their plan, and Lex was saying, oh, this might be a good way to invest because they have all these pending patents which are going to blow up.
Right.
So, I mean, you can file patents. They're not that expensive for a billionaire. So he can file all these patents, but it's not for anything substantial. So it's official. It has all these patents. And then he fills out a document that looks legitimate that says how much money that all these patents are
So
worth.
you're saying what Lex did is illegal?
No, it's legal. It's not good, but it's not illegal because he didn't do it officially. It was just on his laptop
Okay.
for Victoria to
Right,
find.
exactly.
So she totally did not
So
do
she's
her
an
research.
idiot, is what we're saying.
She didn't look any deeper into it, so she burns herself.
Well, yeah.
But
you
yeah,
couldn't do
so
it quick.
they end up.
Miss Labs, Google. What is it? Oh, nothing.
So when these big corporations go and buy this, I don't want. This is really boring.
No,
topic,
I had
isn't
to
it?
ask Brett. I was like, what is going on here?
Okay, these corporations go in and to buy a company, another company like this, it's a lot of money, even for a small company. I've seen some companies you buy, 12 employees will join your company and there's not really anything else to it. And it's going to cost you easily $200 million.
What?
It's not unheard of.
Jeez.
Okay, so you can do these kind of things. So he inflated it that, there's so much future value. So to buy it, they went and used all of their reserves and sacrificed their company position, which initially will hurt their company. But when the patents go through,
Big
it
payout.
would be a huge payout and their company would be worth more. Finding out that it's a dumpster fire later has just made all of their money go to nothing. They just melted away. And now what Lex and Lionel end up doing is exactly what Victoria and
Right.
her dad wanted to do. Hostile takeover.
A double cross. Victoria thinks she's won here, and Lex is like, you slept with me for business. That's disgusting.
That makes you full of hormones.
We know that Lana is upset about the flower shop being sold, but it's not about the flower shop. It's about the building next to it, the Talon.
So it was a movie theater, now closed. This is where her parents met. And so it holds a special place in her heart. Clark finds her in the Talon, and they talk about it.
And we get a little bit of backstory about Lana's parents and how they met, which is cute.
The funny part here, as always, they're trying to do fun little call-outs to Clark's lineage and what he is. And so the parents, like her mom was watching Close Encounters and was bored. And does she have anything against aliens? Okay. Maybe a little bit on the nose.
How do you get bored watching a show about aliens? Because what are we watching right
A
now?
show about an alien.
I really like what Clark says to her in this. And he says, sometimes it's best if we forget the past, or maybe not forget the past, but leave the past in the past and move on. And I thought that was really cute. She doesn't necessarily do it, but I thought it was good advice.
Yeah.
In the next scene, what we get to deal with is that bad dad guy wants to have his son studied by doctors.
So this is where it clicked for me that I was like, oh, this is why Clark can't be out in the open.
Right.
Because I knew this. I knew that he could get tested on, and
Well, and that's been one of Jonathan's biggest fears
is for
that
him to be a lab
to
rat.
be taken away. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I realized, oh, this is, this solidified it for me. This is why Clark can't do things in public. Mm-hmm. And that's so creepy that his parents are going to help with the lab rat situation.
He says, "Are you afraid of me?" to his mom, and she doesn't say no.
She's
scared of
legitimately
him.
afraid. Something
He
happened.
hasn't even done that much.
I know.
He saved somebody.
I know.
Just shows that the parents,
Make a big difference.
yeah, and they're just not very good people. Eric's parents.
I also wonder, here's a thought. Clark isn't human. He doesn't have a human brain. His DNA, every cell in his body is different. Shoving all that power into a human body might mess it up mentally.
Like psychologically.
True. that
Oh,
could be
absolutely.
a huge part of why he starts to act out more
Right.
than he normally
Right.
would. I think it's not just the human psychological thing of gaining that kind of control and power in your life, but also just, the alien part of it. That's an interesting...
Medically, if things are flowing and his brain is now at 80% capacity, he could be losing his mind in there.
Yeah, if you're watching this series and going to watch it all the way through, watch this theme, because it actually is something we see throughout the series, that power does something to people. And this much power has effects on people, good and bad. So just watch that and see, just take note of it as you're watching.
And that is why I love Superman. Because his greatest power is having all that power and not being corrupted by it. That is what makes him special. A lot of people are like, oh, he's super milquetoast, he's super boring, whatever. No, he is incredible because of that. It is his own integrity and goodness that is what is his greatest power, which is what I love about Superman.
Yes, I am slowly starting to love Superman as a superhero.
Yeah, this show does that for you.
Yes. So he goes crazy on his parents.
Flips up his dad and yells at him.
Yeah.
Leaves the house and then grabs the world's biggest boombox.
I know.
And what, 17 double D batteries probably?
Yes.
With his pleather trench coat
I hated it so much.
and his big
Well,
boombox.
it's all for symbolism.
Yeah, I know.
What's the
It's like a
boombox
cape.
symbolizes?
Music.
Loud.
I just think it symbolizes, it was what, 2002?
Well,
Yeah.
it could symbolize him just being out in the open.
Loud.
Super, yeah.
Well-
He's
Oh, I like it.
not secretive about anything
It's like
he's
an
doing.
announcement.
Everyone knows he's coming.
If we're going to be super artsy on this, at the beginning of this episode, he was in his headphones, all in himself.
Yeah. Oh, my
And now
gosh,
he's
Brett!
all out and loud. Before it was
Brett,
very
that's so
simple.
deep.
Oh, I love that.
There's a sort of good thing in this, that the power kind of melted away his insecurities, and now he can feel like he can be himself in the open.
But himself is all messed up now.
Yeah, but himself is now being tainted by the power and the corruption that's happened to him. The
wow.
problems with his parents that has created a bad vessel for this power.
Yeah.
And he's really not the villain here.
No,
I feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Who would you say the villain of the episode is?
the dad.
The parents, yeah. The parents of Eric, the Summers.
I'm with it. So he comes to school, Eric, with his loud boombox and his loud clothing. And he goes and asks Jenny, right, our generic blonde.
Is her name Holly? I don't care.
I don't know.
No,
Whatever.
she just became Jenny. So she...
It's like in How I Met Your Mother. Blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So he asked Jenny out. Boyfriend is right there. Like, very bold choice, son.
And she's like, no.
She's like, no. And the boyfriend decides to step up and try to stand up for his position. Not great to someone that's upset. Punches off a mirror on a car, and then an action scene
Terrifies the
ensues.
shiz out of everybody.
Oh, he's having people... I mean, he's flipping Jeeps. Is it a Jeep? SUV?
The carnage, like, that's somebody's car. It's probably a poor farm kid's car that his family handed down to him. Like,
Looks like a Ford Bronco. There you go.
yeah, it sucks.
And Clark feels responsible because those are his powers.
Yeah, so he goes to confront him. And, well, he shouldn't have confronted him.
Shouldn't have confronted him, but the truth is Clark is still trying to be a hero. It's not actually the power that makes him want to do these things. It's not his imperviousness to pain or issues or his super speed. That's not what makes him him. And they say it twice in the episode. It's not his powers that define him. He really is this person. He is that guy.
So Clark confronts him. He throws him onto a car.
And the windows all shatter.
And I'm like, okay, Clark's previous body, maybe.
Sure.
Not now.
It happens to humans. It happened to the other guy, too. The old guy. That same thing happened to the old guy.
I know.
When you land on a car, all of the windows must shatter in this town.
So this next scene brings up exactly the second time I thought about you guys and your comments on the poor
Health insurance?
The poor kids' bills, not just health insurance. Sure, they don't have a child that's breaking everything now. Now they have one that can get broken.
Well, you know what bothers me is this doctor's trash. Who
didn't take
breaks a
x-rays?
rib and doesn't x-ray to make sure you don't have, a shard in your liver?
I know. I thought the same thing.
I understand why he doesn't, because show, and because if he does, who knows what kind of alien intestines
Yes.
Clark has, and it's going to freak out the
Yeah, like
doctor.
his skeleton could be slightly different to a point where he looks too
Slightly.
different.
I
Yes.
don't know.
So it's
I
on
get it.
purpose for writing reasons. But
Right.
yes,
but
no
a real doctor would absolutely take an x-ray, no question.
I guess the Smallville doctors suck. That's what the canon says, maybe, in this scene.
There's that, and you have small town. You have this small town feel where even if it's specific practice, this neighbor, this person, you're the one to buy the vegetables from. He just said, don't worry about it. And you know that they're tight on bills. So maybe
Right.
it's, okay, if you don't want me to do one, I'll just let it slide.
Yeah, like I have to charge you, so I'm just not going to take it. We'll just assume you're fine. If anything else hurts, come back.
Yeah.
And luckily for Clark, his big mystery man Lex shows up and is like, oh, if I hit you with a car, you'd be dead because you just broke a bunch of ribs
You
today.
got thrown on top of the car and you're broken. I guess I couldn't have hit you.
So lucky for
Yes.
Clark.
Lucky
And just
dog.
notice these hospitals' purple walls because our next episode goes a little bit more into that.
The purple walls
So just keep the hospital purple walls in the back of your mind.
for the next one.
So I really enjoy this next scene with Clark and his parents.
We go back to Eric's house. Now I'm gonna say I don't think the mom is as much to blame. I mean, okay,
No, she's probably a bit battered as well.
I think she is
Yeah.
scared of the husband.
And now scared of her son.
And so, therefore, she's silenced because she seems kind to her son.
yeah, because he says, Mom, I made a big mistake. I need help.
Yeah.
yeah, she is the one he goes to.
And then the
But then
dad
the freaking dad calls the cops.
and he has a golf club.
He did what? He flipped a car over with one hand? Let me get the clubs, honey. The 9 will do it. The 9 iron.
After we see how scared Eric's parents are, we go back to the Kent household, and Clark asks how it's going. They mention that they've talked to Eric's parents and that they're scared. And then Clark proceeds to ask Jonathan, were you ever scared with me and my abilities?
For the what if, because we didn't get that part.
Right. I thought this was really fun because Jonathan responds, well, you had some temper tantrums as a toddler. I can't even imagine trying to raise the kid that if they had a temper tantrum, your house would be razed.
Horrible.
Like that cow, like you stood in the wrong place and it kicked him. It
Rips
didn't
him in
kill him.
half.
He just like rip its leg off and not know. Like there's a lot of things that. So it just goes again to show there's something special about Clark Kent. And he realizes as he goes to stop Eric, he says exactly the phrase This is who I am, whether I have my powers or not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Boom.
what a
He
good
knows it.
human.
He ain't no
Not-
human.
What a good alien.
He is supposed to be the symbol to humanity of how humans should be, though. So
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and back you up on that. What a good human. He had all of his alien taken out of him.
yeah, that's true.
I wonder if he would have gotten an x-ray if everything would have looked normal.
Now we get the last little bit of the B storyline with Lex, where he gets to say, double cross the double cross.
I loved this. I was like, oh, so surprised.
This goes to what we've kind of alluded to, we're going to see more of, that Lex can be really good and you see him be a good friend, you see him trying to do the right thing, but there is a very, how would you describe it? I'm trying to think of the right
He
phrase.
is a hard A on the business
Well,
front.
he has an inner darkness. He is his father's
He has
son
an inner
still.
darkness.
He doesn't
And he'll-
lose. He doesn't
and
want to lose.
He refuses to lose, and he will use any tool that he needs to get done what he needs to get done, including bad tools, right?
Yeah, that's how he was raised.
And I think that's why he loves the Kents, is because he wishes he could be like them.
He wishes he could be that wholesome, but he knows that in order to get what he wants, he can do other things.
He has to play the game.
So he's a pretty devious guy.
Yeah.
And I love that Victoria is just like, I didn't know that was on the document. I didn't read that part, Father. And he's like, daughter, you've made us poor.
And I'm going to just go ahead and scold the father on this. You were willing to go all in on this based on one document that your daughter read?
Right.
Don't put this on her. I'm not saying she didn't make a mistake or that you
Yeah.
shouldn't believe her.
Yeah.
But if you're going to risk your entire business, your entire empire on one thing,
It's your fault too.
that's on you, buddy.
We have Lana and Clark in the theater, and we find out who is going to purchase this theater.
Lex.
Lex.
He is. They're just talking about
They're
Eric.
talking about Eric and what he's going through and how hard it must be. And Clark asks Lana for a favor that feels really weird and strange. He asks to borrow that necklace.
And she's like, sure, go ahead. I don't care.
Oh, he went there to get the necklace.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
'Cause he wants to
he wants
stop.
to do the switchy back.
Mhm. He wants to stop Eric.
He doesn't know he's going to get a switchy back. He just wants to stop him.
When I
Yeah.
I
okay.
saw this, I was like, "What?" Because you can tell he has an idea, and I'm like, "What are you thinking?"
Well, and I think this
Using
is
his brain.
this is a brave moment by Clark because he takes this from her and he says, I'm going to make sure this gets back to you. And he leans forward and he initiates a kiss on the cheek.
Oh my god!
I loved it. I put a kiss on the cheek
And
in my notes.
It's a more of a real farewell, goodbye kiss. He thinks he might die.
He thinks so. He's willing to risk that to go and stop Eric from hurting people.
Yeah.
Really?
He feels like these powers are still his responsibility, even though they're not in him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And Lana, she feels like something's off. She's not confident about this.
But she's just like, sure, go ahead and borrow it.
She
Didn't
trusts
take
Clark.
much convincing.
She trusts
yeah,
him.
that's true.
So we make it back to Eric's house, and we see that he had a little too much fun with that super strength.
He
That
had a
was
temper
carnage.
tantrum.
I mean, he freaked out.
He has cars flipped over. He has a cop car through the roof of his house
That
has
house
the
is
blinker
ruined.
on.
He totaled a house. Not good. Clark talks to Eric's parents and is like, what's going on, my teacher? And they say, I don't know. He freaked out. He's a terrible son. I hate him. But he said he was going to go back to where it all started. What does that mean? I wonder.
And that's a shout
And
out
Clark
for
knows.
Clark. Yep.
He knows where to go. So Clark runs back to the dam.
And he had to slow run to that
Oh,
dam.
true.
look
at
how
him
tired. I never
He's all panting. Eric.
Running sucks.
I used to be able to do
Leg
this in a
cramp.
second.
And Eric is right where he was in the beginning. And Clark is like, Eric, hold on. And Eric's like, peace out. I'm trying to kill myself. And he tries.
This freaked me
Which is
out. I was
crazy.
like, why are you jumping? And then I realized he's like, I wanted to see what I could do. And I was like, oh, okay.
It's a little creepy way to figure it out. Probably could have done something in between.
It's very Groundhog's Day where he is like, wants to die, but he can't.
Yeah.
He tries every different way to end it.
So conveniently, this conversation is now next to all of the power.
With his pleather jacket flapping in the wind.
Clark has his necklace in a box.
And he gets shoved over into the gate, and you hear him like hit it. It sounds like he hit his head. So now his ribs have been just hit again. He just probably hit his head. He's not having a good day. He probably is really getting a good idea of what it feels like to face against him now too.
Yeah.
Which is a huge
You wonder
deal.
if that would
That's
like
so true.
impact how he fights people from then on. That really hurts. Let me just like take that a little easy.
3/4 power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But luckily he grabs the kryptonite just in time while Eric is ripping apart the
Electrical bits.
to attack, and we get the old switcheroo back.
Switcheroo is back,
Which is
and
incredible.
you immediately see the cut on Clark's forehead heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right then, you just watch it real time.
And he
And
probably
then
feels
Eric
his ribs just
immediately
go,
is like, oh my gosh, this jacket provides no insulation. I'm freezing.
I wondered why he said that.
Because he's so cold.
I'm so cold.
Just to prove, because he's not hurt. He's just, so they needed a thing to make him back to mortal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they just had him be cold.
Okay.
Because Clark's never
Oh,
cold.
good call. Like that.
And then Clark's hurt because the necklace is effective again. He puts it away, saves Eric from himself, except Eric gets put into a...
Belle Reeve. He gets taken eventually to...
He was going to get put in
Facility.
he gonna get put in an ambulance first.
yeah.
And then they're going to go get him some mental health
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
He is going to struggle.
After
for a
that,
bit.
I would need mental help. So, you know.
Yeah.
I used to be able to lift cars.
Now I'm a
Not
weakling
anymore.
I just
with
feel
glasses.
so bad for him, though.
I know.
His life is not good. Poor kid.
He's got a rough recovery. And
Yeah.
Clark
Don't worry,
feels...
he'll be an X-Man soon.
Yeah, there you go. This was his audition, his X-Men audition.
Yeah.
Clark talks to his dad and he says, I'm back to normal and I know that my powers complicate everything, but they're who I am and I'm going to do my best to make the world a better place.
And then the very last thing, we get Clark returning the necklace to Lana.
And he
But
gives
in
it
the
to her
box.
in a box. This is a little sneaky.
A lead box.
This is a little sneaky of Clark to say that it's like out of a genuine place to say
Stop wearing this
Yeah,
garbage.
you can protect this
can protect
memory.
the memory.
Yeah.
I
and
want to be
keep
near
it.
you.
But you don't have to wear it with you all the time, helping you move forward. You're not helping her. I mean, it will help, but no, that's not your intention.
Yeah, he just wants to be around her and not have to feel like he's gonna die.
Okay, there was a moment where we all felt a little ill. So Roger comes back in
Oh my gosh.
and
Yeah.
he says, "Hey Lex, I've got these pictures for you." And Victoria Hardwick has been doing naughty with Lionel Luthor too.
This
What?
made me so sick.
Well, you know what it makes me think of? Nell absolutely did him.
Oh man. Nell is catching all the strays.
How many diseases are they passing around?
If I guess Victoria's on a different echelon. She's like a rival's daughter, but Lionel will do the dirty for a deal,
Oh, of course. And so will Lex.
and so will Nell.
And so will Nell.
So
I believe it.
Let's end this on a happy note. I thought Clark said the cutest thing to his parents. He said his two strongest gifts
I know.
were them. I was like, you're
Eric
right.
didn't get my two strongest gifts.
Oh,
You and Mom.
I loved it so much.
So, on that happy note, was this episode super or man?
Definitely, man. He
No,
spent
it was super.
Kim,
episode
do you
being
understand
a
what the
man.
rating means?
No, please tell me.
Oh, I have to tell you? Oh, okay. I thought somebody else was going to help chime in. I think man means that the episode was...
It's garbage.
Is a
No,
filler episode.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a filler episode, not garbage. I mean, it could include that. But yeah, super episode is like, yeah, this was so good for me. I love this
Like,
episode.
one to
It was
watch.
great for
Yeah.
the plot. You should definitely watch it. Man is like, eh.
No, I agree with you guys. Do you guys all think it's super?
Yes. mean,
I
don't
totally
know.
see where you're going with this though,
Yeah.
because he
Well, I mainly said that as a joke because he spent the whole episode as a man.
man.
But it has to be super because he learns so much about himself, about his parents.
And he still saves the day without his
He's-
powers.
He realizes that he is meant to help people even if he was powerless.
and I actually love these episodes because it will happen again. It lacks creativity a little bit in the every superhero series does this, but that he loses his powers and then has to do something. But I love all of these episodes. I love them.
Well, it's just a great way to show
who a
you
person is without the power.
Yeah, because we like our heroes not because of their superpowers as much as we like them because of who they are. And it doesn't even necessarily have anything to do with what they look like either.
No.
You know, we like Clark Kent because of Clark Kent, not because of Superman.
Right. If we were just watching for the powers, we would be watching The Boys. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that series is definitely not full of Clark Kents.
Well, yeah, but that's what's so great about the series. Anyway.
And that's our episode.
I loved it.
I think it's super.
If we were to make an abridged version of Smallville, this
one would make the season 1 cut. If I had to toss some and keep some, I'm keeping this. This is a great episode. I loved it. Every part of it is so good.
Thank you for remembering Smallville with us. Join us next week when we have another double feature where
fascists recommend Jell-O
and Whitney gets a haircut.